This is the new 4 to 20 power ED-PRS Gen 2 from Discovery Optics, which made me ask the question, why would you get the 20 power version of the scope instead of the 25? Well, as a wise man once said,
never go full retard.
Let me start with a quick unboxing, and then let's just see the contents of the box. This is the Discovery Optics ED-PRS Gen 2. It is a 4 to 20 power by 52mm objective long-range scope, and in appearance looks practically identical to the 5 to 25 version of the scope, just slightly, ever so slightly shorter and with a smaller objective, but overall looks practically identical. Now in terms of construction, it looks well made. I see no gaps, no faults, and no blemishes in externals. It comes with a 3-inch sunshade, and I do appreciate that they included that, and it also comes in with a screw-on throw lever that you obviously can decide to have or not, and I also appreciate that they included that. Now, mine did not include a 2032 coin battery, which powers the illuminator here. Let me know in the comments if if you have this model and yours came with a battery or not. In terms of the illumination, it has 6 different levels or intensities of illumination with an off in between. It's illuminated in red, and we'll take a look at the illuminator a little bit later. It has a parallax knob below that goes from 20 yards out to infinity. And I do like the design of this particular parallax knob because, as you can see, it's slightly raised, almost like it has a built-in parallax wheel attached to it. This is great because I'm very unlikely to accidentally turn the parallax knob and also turn on the illumination accidentally, and of course forget that it's on, and when I put it away and have a dead battery, and vice versa. When you're adjusting the illumination, you're not going to accidentally grab the parallax knob and change your focus. So that is a nice design, and I wish actually a lot of other scopes incorporated a way to separate those two different dials. Now let's take a look at our in-elevation turret. Very loud, very tactile positive. This is a 0.1 amrad per click. It is a user resettable turret. You just unscrew this locking cap here, this locking screw. You can use a coin, and it does come with a tool. Just pop it off, once you have your 0 set, pop it off, put it back down, and you've reset your 0. There also has a built-in 0 stop. Unscrew that locking wheel or ring, drop it down to engage the tooth that's in the base of the turret underneath this turret cap, and you've set your 0 stop. And it has, let's take a listen to our windage. Also very loud, very tactile positive. And again, it is 0.1 amrad per click. Neither of these are lockable. This is also resettable, but you have to use an Allen key to loosen these set screws. And our magnification ring turns smoothly with or without the throw lever, though I do appreciate that they have the option comes with. And our ocular or diopter focus turns very smoothly as well. And all the control surfaces have nice checkering knurling on it to provide a good grippy surface and a very large, generous eyepiece there. So overall, it's a nice scope, but let's see what it's like and take a look through the glass. Next. Before we get started with the test, I'd just like to take a quick break here to talk about this episode's sponsor, Aura. For the cost of just a VPN, I'm getting a whole suite of security services, including $1 million in identity theft insurance, and they're even removing me from those damn data broker listings. Use my link, aura.com/moondog, and you can try them for 14 days, free. And if you use that link, you're helping to support this channel. Identity fraud is a real thing, and with AI, it's all too easy to spoof your identity. That's why you should try out Aura. Alright, let's get back to the tests. Pardon any wind noise, this is a gusty day today, and we are looking at the peak of Mount Davidson, 1,400 yards away, through the Discovery Optics ED-PRS 4 to 20 power scope. And we're at a lowest power setting of 4 to get our best overall image through the glass. And the image itself is quite good. You can compare the color of the sky inside of the scope to that outside of the scope to get a good comparison of any color shift. And as we bring up the magnification, we are just magnifying all the faults in the glass. Now let's bring it up to 10 power here. And the hill is still quite sharp and clear. We see a little bit of chromatic aberration, a little bit of color fringing in the tree branches silhouetted against the sky, but to be honest, this is more visible inside of the camera than with my naked eye. The camera itself has its own glass, so it's imparting some chromatic aberration to the overall image. And as we bring up our magnification all the way to its maximum of 20, pardon the shake from the wind moving the scope and the mount around, but that is the peak there, and it is a nice sharp image even though it's a little bit darker. We can see a trail marker sign poking up above the bushes there. That is a 3-foot-ish steel sign atop an 8-foot pole, which is a good proxy for an IPSC target at this distance. Now this is a good opportunity to take a look at our illumination because we are looking at the shaded area of that grove of trees up there. And this is the illumination set at 6 power, the highest illumination power setting, and I'm going to put my hand in front of the bell just so you can see how much of that reticle is illuminated. So just the very, very center cruciform of our reticle overall. Now that is not daylight bright, or really not much by a stretch, but it is certainly bright enough for low light or twilight hunting conditions. We are looking through the Discovery Optics ED-PRS at our reference target's downrange at 100 yards. And let's take a look at our range of adjustment starting with our elevation. And that is the very top. And you can see a little bit of the eye box there, a black curve at the very top. Let's see where our bottom is, and that is the very bottom. No dead clicks, and you can see the edge of the eye box peeking in as well. That's because, well, the camera is locked into the scope and doesn't move like our eyes and our heads do when we see the eye box. All right, and this is our windage. That is the very right, and this is the very leftmost adjustment. Let's bring that back to 0. All right. Let's bring up our magnification up about halfway to 10 power. Take a look at our reference targets. Now I'm seeing a little bit of chromatic aberration around the outer edge of our image, which is pretty typical, especially with a high contrast image like this where we have a white target frame against a shadowed backstop. You're going to generally see little hints of chromatic aberration, a little purple fringe or color fringe. But overall, the image is still very good. It's sharp from center all the way to the outer edge. And let's bring this all the way up to its maximum magnification of 20 power. And the image is really showing some really good detail. We can see individual bullet splashes on the shadowed backstop behind our reference target. And on our color card on the top left, we can see good vibrant color in the color ring and the color chits. So I'm going to dial in 22 clicks, which should put us right at, yep, the next corner target. And I'm going to dial in 22 clicks with our windage, and that puts us in the next corner. And 22 on our, that right on the next corner. And back. And that passes the box test. This thing really does track. Mill-wise, this is right on. And I'm going to do a little bit of a nipple twister test here. We're just going to see if this will come back to 0. Okay, that's 0. We're right back, and let's just check the windage out. Make sure that that also tracks back. Yeah, all right. That passes my little nipple twister test. That's coined by my buddy Cyclops Joe. And I can see detail. There's two tiny 22 caliber holes below that reactive sticker target on the bottom left. You can see those clearly. And in the resolution chart on the bottom right, I can make out both horizontal and vertical lines down to element 5 in group -1. And if it wasn't this mirage, I'm sure I could get down to element 6. I'd like to thank Discovery Optics for sending out the ED-PRS Gen 2 4-20 for me to test. And I also reviewed and tested the big brother of this scope, the ED-PRS Gen 2 5-25 a few months ago, and that video quickly became one of the biggest videos on my channel, and I'll include a link to that video in this video's description. But to be honest, when you're using a 5-25 power scope, you're typically not using it at 25 power. To be honest, most people like me will just dial it down to 16 or 18 power because that image is typically brighter and sharper than the scope at 25 power. And hey, guess what? This scope can go to 16 and 18 power, all the way up to 20 power. So if you want the same performance as the 5-25 in a scope that's slightly shorter, slightly lighter, which is big importance for you hunters out there, and performs just as well and just a little bit cheaper, hey, why not? And if you are interested in this scope, I've included product links as well as any discount codes and more product information in my full written review at moondogindustries.com. And you'll find a link to that article in this video's description. Use those links and you're helping to support this channel. And of course, you can always help by simply hitting the like button, the subscribe button, and notification bell buttons. That's absolutely free. They don't charge you to be a subscriber to my channel, but it does make a big difference because it helps me review new products for you. A lot of brands won't even reply to my emails unless I have a certain number of subscribers to my channel. So the bigger the channel, the more likely I'll be able to bring you the newest, coolest products. So thanks for taking the time to subscribe to my channel, and thanks for taking the time to watch this video. God bless. Moondog out. Hey, I'd like to know what you thought of this video. Leave me a comment or chat with me on Facebook, Twitter, TikTok, MeWe, Instagram, or Locals. And if you want to see all of my videos, go to moondogindustries.com.